Watch Democracy Grow. It is so fitting that I serve as moderator today, because I can recall that at the time, the Assistant Secretary, she had mentioned a statement. She said, never, never again should we allow for genocide of this scale to happen on our watch. Never, never again. And this was someone that I revered, that I held in high esteem. And I would have liked to think that development actors were as committed to that statement, the world committed to that statement. But I am also disappointed to say that we are probably witnessing at the same scale a genocide in other parts of the world, whether it be the DRC, or whether it be in Haiti, or elsewhere. Because after all, these genocides that we speak of may very well be more about land transfer, minerals, and dislocation of individuals who have a true right to those minerals, these resources. So with that today, I want to say that it is somewhat heart-wrenching to have these types of discussions. So if you see some tears that may roll from my eyes and from those who are there, please allow yourself that opportunity to be completely honest with yourself, to go into the deep reservoirs of not only your memories or your soul, and speak truth. As I introduce our first speaker today, from our first panel, when I read his bio, and I will do so, I didn't know really what to say, but let me try reading his bio first. And welcome all those who are there. I see that we have dark plain hair, and we have many others that I probably should. I know that we have our brother in the back who is committed to a unified Africa, and it's worthwhile. There are many that probably want to be here somehow on travel. I spoke to a senator from Congo today, and he asked Senator in Congo to just share his blessings and his welcome to everyone, and let them know that the fight continues and we must continue on. So with that, the first topic of panel one is witnesses from different backgrounds and other similar challenges elsewhere. Emmanuel Muhinda is the first speaker, and I believe next it will be Walter Ruby, and then Safari Munyarugendo. So let me go ahead and share a little bit about Emmanuel Muhinda. And if you have the program for today, that will spare us some valuable time for discussion. So I will just touch on a little bit about the bios. So Emmanuel Muhinda was a 9-year-old Tutsi schoolboy living on his family's cattle farm in the Bugesera-Ntarema region of Rwanda in 1984. I keep forgetting I have to use my glasses. In April of that year, Hutu extremists began massacring the Tutsi population of Rwanda. His parents, brothers and sisters were all killed. Some of the gang members who attacked his family were neighbors he had known. He survived by pretending to be dead. His aunt and another woman made sure Emmanuel got an education in Rwanda. He chose to leave Rwanda to attend university in Uganda. Emmanuel has terrible memories that are hard to live with. But he says, we must work to prove that there was a reason for our survival. His advice to young people is not to lose hope. Today, Emmanuel is an aspiring motivational speaker and philanthropist. He holds a master's degree in international business from Oklahoma Christian University. Please join me in welcoming Emmanuel either to the podium. You can either sit from where you are, or I prefer maybe that you come to the podium. Okay?
Good evening, everyone. like to thank you, all of you, to come and attend this event. I'm going to share my story. It's a very long story, but I'll try to be brief because I have a few minutes to do my presentation. And after that, we'll have time for questions if there are some questions. As you've heard, my name is Emmanuel Muhinda. I was born and raised in Rwanda in a place called Bugesera. It's near Kigali, like 15 miles southeast of Kigali. Bugesera was a regional district where in 1959 all the way to 1963, where they gathered all Tutsis from mostly northern part of Rwanda to be in a forest so that they can be killed by flies, by lions, by other wild animals, because it was like a national park. So my parents got there when they were still teenagers, I think around 16. They managed to forge life over there, and they started life, they got married, and we were born. The time I was born, Bugesera was a place where you can live. So I was born there, we had a normal life, we were living in a farm. Our families were cattle keepers. All our lives were rotating around the cows and go to school, having that African life. We loved a lot. But when we were growing up, you could realize that our families were really scattered. Some were in Rwanda, others were in neighboring countries, Uganda especially, a few in Tanzania. And we were not allowed to communicate with them. In 1990, that's when other part of Rwandans who were refugees in Uganda came, tried to come back to their homeland, Rwanda. But even before starting to come back to Rwanda, we could see that one day we will die. Yeah, but when they started coming, it was open. They were telling us that you are not Rwandans, you don't belong here, we will kill you. That was a message that was always preached on national television and radio station, and our neighbors could tell us that openly. When I went to our primary school, we used to stand in class calling who are Tutsis, who are Hutus. You stand, and immediately another schoolmate or classmate will look at you differently. That was in 1992 all the way to 1994. That's when I was in a primary school with that kind of situation. In 1992, in our area, Bugesera, there was a sector close to us called Murama. They started, I call it commissioning genocide, like trying and see if it will work. They killed hundreds of families, and others left their homes and went to Nyamata Church. There was a Catholic church near. There was a missionary called Antonia Locatelli from Italy. She tried to communicate to the world, telling them what is happening in Rwanda, especially in our village. Then they killed her immediately, after knowing that she was calling abroad. But at the same time, yes, we were scared, but at the same time, we It is not true. It was, they already had a list of people who would be killed. So they started implementing that. When it started, as young people, I was not so scared. I was enjoying the company of my neighbors, relatives coming together. We headed to the church, Ntarema church. We stayed there for some time, but every day there was always attacks coming in to kill people. People who were teenagers and elder people tried to fight hard against those attacks on a daily basis. And we could be safe inside the church and the vicinity of the church all the way to 15th of April. That's when a big attack with huge support of local people and probably other people from other areas of the country came in, plus the military. They came in, killed the people, and pushed all the way into the church. So when it was happening, I was young, and so many people were confused. I couldn't really get into the church. I was stuck outside, because the church was not big enough to accommodate everybody, but also I was weak. I fell down. They killed people, like 2 people who were around me. They fell down, and I immediately went down pretending to be dead, because maybe I was dead, I didn't know. Maybe. But I stayed there without moving. They killed the people around me before entering the church. And they went, took some bricks from the wall, then started throwing in grenades. After some time, they entered in. But as they were entering in, some of our people tried to defend themselves, and others were singing these Christian songs, like last song you could ever sing when you see that your death is really coming. They kept singing until the last person kept quiet. I could hear things, I could see things, but I was not moving, and I was confused. I didn't know what to do. That day I saw something that are really terrible, but I don't have enough time to go through everything. But something really stood out. It's a death of a woman I knew. She was married to one of our neighbors. She was pregnant, first pregnant. She was stuck like me outside of the church. Then they took her, they opened her womb with a panga. Everything went down.
That's all right.
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah. So after finishing everyone, they left the church. They were also very quiet after seeing what they have done. And when they were going out, one man went to check into the water tank that was around the church. They found someone who was there. They killed him, and they continued going. They left the church. I was in the same position. I stayed there. After some time, I saw one person coming out of the church who was injured. And after seeing her moving outside and no one killed her, I was like, maybe this is my time also to wake up and move. I gathered my courage and I got up. Then I continued all the way to the other place where other people from our group went. It was a primary school not far from the church. I went there. People started seeing us coming up, and they came to check on us. They took us into the group. We stayed there. People were like, maybe they are not coming back because they have killed almost everybody. They are satisfied, but we were wrong. The following day they came back. After getting there, I met my mom and the other few siblings that were still alive. The next day they came every time, every day, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It was a killing time. There were different attacks, but the other attack that I remember is the attack of April 19th. We were at the primary school. Around 9 a.m. we saw around 3 government buses that blew. I think people from Rwanda know the government buses, green ones, on a tracom. We used to call them on a tracom. They came with a group of Hutu militias and in Herahamwe. They had guns, they had everything, but they were not moving so fast and killing like other attacks we were used to. I guess it was their first time to come and kill people, or they were not familiar with the area. But they came with soldiers, then soldiers started shooting, and our people were like, let us put up a fight, no matter what, we have to defend ourselves. So people started throwing stones, using arrows and sticks. My mom was among of them, but they were defeated. I went to her, she was like at the forefront. I told her, Mom, let's go. I begged her to leave. She didn't want to leave because she wanted to defend our people. I left her, went back to the main group, and one grenade got her arm and the leg. But luckily she wasn't killed that day. She came back in the same classroom where we were staying. My grandma and grandpa, that's her parents, were there. Grandpa was killed and he died immediately, but grandma didn't die immediately. They choked her with a panga from toes to head. She was in agony and couldn't say anything or move. She was down for around 5 hours. After that, she died. My mom had injuries, but she took courage, and the other people, we went to bury them. We could just make a small hole, put a person there, cover that person, and go. The next day, there came another attack, and the person who was linked in that attack was a prominent business person called Ngango. He was a Hutu guy who was always in the church, and everybody knew him. He came, but people killed him. Our people killed him, and he died. His people ran away. Next day, that was on 22nd of April. My uncle, who was my mother's brother, was living in a center close to the primary school. There was a garage. He told us to bring her in because my mom couldn't move fast. He convinced us that she would be fine with her family because they had a place to hide in a garage with tools and different stuff. They went there as always. They used to go there every time. But that day, a big attack of Hutus found them and killed them. So before being killed, he advised me and my other sister who was still alive to go to different places so that we couldn't be found at the same time. We ran away, but my heart was always there thinking about my mom. because I knew she couldn't move, and it's like if anybody comes, she would want to not be able to move and to get killed. And that really happened. They found them, they killed them. Yeah. After 5 p.m. we returned, and I went to check on her. She was on the ground breathing, all of her hair was covered by blood. My uncle was there, dead, his wife, and the other 4 kids. Yeah, we were scared, but we managed to bury them at night. Around 3 a.m. in the morning, we left the primary school. We went to hide into the swamp. We stayed in that swamp for so many days. I was with the last sister that was still alive. We went to the swamp. The next day, they came, found us. It was a swamp that was between 2 hills. Some Hutu went to one side and others went to the other side, and others went into the swamp, getting direction from both sides, telling them, hey, there is a person, turn on your left, there is another one. They found her. I heard a commotion when they were killing her, and another uncle of mine was also caught and killed. We left that swamp and we went to the big one. We stayed there, but every day attack would come, kill people you know, people you see, and it became a daily thing. They also killed my brother on 19th, and my grandpa. They killed all my family, and I saw most of them being killed or after being killed. The life was tough, but luckily I was a kid. I didn't really have a full understanding of what was happening to me. All those killings keeps happening all the way to May 14th, 1994. That's when RPF got to our area. But a day before being rescued, we could hear people moving far away with the cars. That was government people moving from Bugesera to other areas. On 14th, that's when RPF came, and we didn't know really that was RPF until some of our people were called going to find some food, and they saw people who went to fight with RPF alongside the RPF. The people we knew, they convinced them that, oh, this is RPF, we are coming, you're not dying anymore. So they came back, convinced the rest of us to leave swamp and go to near Nyamata Center. That's when we found the main group of RPF. They welcomed us, and they gave us a message of hope that we are not going to be killed again. And the person who came to our area is General Fred Bingira. He's in Rwanda, and whenever I see him, I feel joy. I'm like, I wish I can meet you every day, and thank you. Yeah, it was a terrible life. We went to the center of Nyamata, where so many, we didn't have a place to live. We stayed the whole night in a playground, like a football pitch. Next day, they collected the orphans, took them into the orphanage, and yeah, our life continued. It was really hard, but yeah, we survived, and we are still alive, and yeah, we are fighting. Life is a fight. Thank you so much. I don't know if there's some question.
I have a question. How do you stay strong and how do you move on? Where do you get your strength?
You know, when your heart is destroyed and you let it be destroyed, you die. Yeah, you have to face your challenges, you have to face all those bad things and keep fighting. If you don't live a good life after what happened, it's giving a victory to people who wanted to kill you. I decided not to give them a victory. I decided to fight.
And it's called the resilience.
Yes, resilience.